Lelo lela kwati bakawela nachikona bayaye Abani ba PF naje kwa nabaya ye. Ya 2026 naje kwa badi ya. Pada Lungu, kita pada Lungu PF.
Hello. Good evening, Chuempala. Elias Munsha here on TV Bakwetu. Thank you for joining us. Here we have our co-hosts for tonight and my co-moderators, Jerome Kanika. Hi, Jerome. And Linda Banks. So we would like to welcome you to our show tonight. We would like to give you a few minutes to share this link with as many people as possible. Linda, could you kindly advise our listeners where they can share the link to?
Okay. Good evening, viewers. Mulishani, Bambi Mulimbolo Mlevuka, Mwashukeni, Mutende Mwane, Mwalibi Shauti. Ni Mwalibi, I'm practicing my languages. Mwalibi Yabuti, Mwalibi Yabuti. Hi, nice to see you guys. Yesterday we had quite an interesting chat about some of our viewers from YouTube. So I just want to take a minute as we're waiting for Dr. Munsha to guide us in today's conversation. Please kindly share the link to your WhatsApp groups, share your links to the different groups and pages that you belong to on Facebook, share it to Instagram, share it on YouTube. We're going to give you a few seconds to do that. And on my other device, I'll be able to
especially to the PF groups,
Yes, yeah, they watch. This is the thing. They watch all the PF blogs. Make sure you share that. And I'll be able to see who's sharing. I might actually give you a mention. Share to as many people as possible. Over to you, Bamunsha.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Jerome, have you said hello to everybody?
Not yet. Yeah, you see, I'm very much excited because today we had a very powerful press conference by the president. And I was thinking like, I'm not in Zambia, maybe I'm somewhere. I was thinking, am I dreaming or what? So, such excitement.
You see, excitement. It's just been such an exciting day.
Okay. I'm thinking like we are not in Africa. We are somewhere else. This is not the Zambia we are used to. Such kind of
levels.
No, but it's too much. The gap is too much. You see, you cannot skip from level 1 to level 10 at once. You see, such excitement in me. I don't know where to start greeting the people from, but I'm just that excited with the press briefing and all the maturity which I saw today. Anyway, but you empara Trishani. PF makamaka PF mulishani PF andi meeting yesambo yampo yachia shani lero na bakambi.
Jerome, I know that you are exaggerating a little bit. But that's the issue with you cadres. Exaggerating. It was just a normal speech, 200 plus minutes. But Devi, 0 minutes. 200 minutes.
200 minutes. That's true.
Imagine something has never happened. It have never happened in this country. It has happened. So you are used where you are. And what I'm saying is Zambia is no longer enough. Somewhere now.
0 minutes. From 0 minutes.
From zero.
Everybody has a piano. 200 minutes. We share kutu wasekeramo.
Abantu batch were confused. I could see even the journalists didn't know what to do with themselves. I was completely flabbergasted at how incredible the press conference was, how articulate the president was. He literally took us from step to step from when he was in America, what happened in America. He alluded to his plans for the youths. Alunda ponefia ama empowerment yabana mayo. You know, it was just like I was literally watching it whilst I was working. Chacha Chana concentrates. It was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, Vamusha, you see, when the press conference was happening there, I was moving up and down in different places in Lusaka to check what the people are doing, if they are checking about the press conference or what. But Vamusha, it was like the entire country was quiet. Everyone was listening. You go in this barber shop, they are watching the president and they are listening to the radio about the president talking. You see, I said, oh, wow. Because Zambians, they also have this. You see, it was that terrific, you see. And who am I? That's a UPND card, I'm telling you. I was excited.
No. I think I'll ask YouTube. I'll ask YouTubers. I think we have a problem here because we have a very thoroughly bred cadre here. I think Jerome, I think that's what it is, because you can't exaggerate so much. Why can't you just be reasonable? Exaggerate walk over the entire Lusaka, and then
it was not entire Lusaka, it was entire Zambia. So
actually, not even entire Zambia. Canada was watching. Britain, a lot of people were watching. America was watching. It was the entire planet.
Oh my goodness. Zambia, that's Zambia. Imagine.
Including Namushma. I was talking to someone who works for the Home Office, but I got a text message can you call me? We're just watching your president. People are terribly excited. The British government is excited to be working with this president, this Hichilema administration. First guy who visited, who was that? Tony Blair. And Tony Blair is one of the advisors to the great Kagame. I know he's controversial, but for me...
No. Linda, please. Kagame? Did you use the word great next to Kagame?
Yes, he's controversial. That's why Nachilundramwat is very controversial, but he's done great things.
No, he's a killer. Sorry, Kagame is a killer.
Please, don't spoil my mood today. You see, Vamusha. If actually today I was hearing actually even some sorry to use it, maybe a bad language. Some prostitutes today were even saying today is just for free because Barry has given us a good speech.
Bakanika.
I'm telling you, they have offered free service today. It's a free service. Oh my goodness. I've been moving up and down Lusaka to check the excitement from people.
You're very funny. So no, Baba Munsha, Kagame. I know he's a very controversial figure, but the things he's managed to achieve for his country, and we will talk about how I feel our president could do with a little bit of toughness when it comes to implementing certain things. Yes, he's got a very tarnished past. Actually, we can debate till kingdom come. You are a lawyer, I'm a journalist. We can talk till the cows come home. So we'll confine our conversation to 887 for tonight.
Thank you, please.
Thank you. Anyway, I still have questions for Jerome, but I'll not go there. I'll let our viewers probe a little bit more into how Jerome knows whoever the locally free service.
Hey.
Vamusha, it is actually Zambia everywhere. It's a free service to the us. Okay, let them go start asking. because of just how special and how the message was unpacked by President Hichilema. People are celebrating today. Actually, people are even saying to say, for this just message, can tomorrow be a public holiday? They also are saying
Kateka wama holiday sadly na yeah. Haka inde Hichilema. Hello.
I think we have a cadre here. I suspect that we have a cadre.
Sadly, presidents wanankane naye wama holidays.
Oh yeah, but Dave.
But Patrick, vachta comment that so Jerome, I can see why you are so excited. Okay, Shapulikisha comment we're live on air.
Yeah, it's a holiday here in Canada. It's Reconciliation Day. It's a newly created holiday this year. Our court system is not observing it yet because it just started this year. Parliament passed a law to recognize it, but it's a public holiday. Our law firm is not open because of that, even if I'm here working. It's a Reconciliation Day that recognizes the indigenous people and their history and honors the reconciliation between the Europeans and indigenous Aboriginal nations. And so that is what it is, Reconciliation Day. I know that probably England, you don't have a similar situation, but Australia, Canada, America, very similar history. And so today is Reconciliation Day. So we recognize the people, the indigenous people of Canada and the Canadian nations today on Reconciliation Day.
Oh, that's really good.
Yes, you were saying something?
No, I said that's really good. Because there's been a lot of injustices that have taken place in the past when it comes to Aborigines. Land taken away from them. So I'm hoping it's not just a day to recognize that these injustices took place, but there's something else that is taking place that to appease them or to for them to restore what has been taken away from them.
Yeah, the reconciliation efforts are going to continue. So it's actually known as Reconciliation Day, kind of, so that people can reflect on what happened during a very, very bitter history, and we hope that recognizes it. I hope that one day we are going to delve into this comprehensive look at all these stories, and probably we can have a First Nations person here so that we can ask them to explain to us a little bit about what has happened. So that is what is happening in Canada. My son Yeshua is also turning 17. Wimbo na mama Panuma.
It's the women who say that though,
Fimo. Tumwana takulira does not just apply to the mother.
Okay.
It's not just a saying
for women, for mothers. So what are you doing for your 17-year-old son? Anything exciting?
We can't go to any place. We can't hold a party because COVID is going up quite a bit. Really? So we're just going to order some food and enjoy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, when it comes to the president's speech, I have my own views. I don't know where the noise is coming from. Is it?
Hello, is the noise still there? I think it has stopped.
Okay, I think okay, so from the speech, I know it was a very long press conference. Because Kai gave a 200 minutes, so it's very long, and there are several pieces. But I think what really caught my attention, and I need to go back to this because it's an issue of social justice for me. It's the issue of when they asked him the question about choosing his relatives. And the president did seem to go a little bit deeper into his mind and try to justify it. I felt extremely sad about that. Mm-hmm. Now, it's very easy for us to just say, let's forget about the issue of tribe, you know? But when you see your head of state begin dispelling that, and he's telling the journalist to say, I know where that is going, it makes me extremely sad. Because he understands the nuances of the issue of tribalism and the fact that he's Tonga. And he has to continually be so aware and so careful, even when there is no need to.
But because there's history there, things have happened, and he's very aware that he's being watched.
Yeah, but even when it is not true, you see, the thing is that, and that's how he went now into explaining that here's the cabinet. This is the cabinet of a very well-balanced cabinet. It's 10 from 10 provinces. And so why are you going back to the same dark thing? That's what he calls it, the dark thing, which is pretty sad. And we need to be very clear to our colleagues in Zambia, to our friends, particularly my region mates, the Bemba-speaking peoples and the Easterners. There are so many things that we take for granted. Let us be sensitive when we are dealing with some of these things. It is not right for us to continue giving opportunities to the Patriotic Front or some of the members of the Patriotic Front who wants to give us this impression that HH has somehow selected his relatives to positions. We've seen what the cabinet is. We have seen what the soldiers is. And we are going to be seeing what the PSAs are going to be and the Foreign Service. But it's really unfair for this accusation. And it started even before he had selected his cabinet. We join him in the disappointment that he feels. We must join him and say, we are disappointed. That should not be the case. And any citizen of our country should not be doing any apologies. Somehow I just feel like he should have just gone ahead and appointed an Tonga cabinet. It's one Zambia, one nation.
Exactly, exactly.
A very clear message, but you see, you know, why should our Tonga citizens continue having to apologize and explain themselves?
Absolutely.
Who appointed a Northern Eastern cabinet? There weren't any of these deep things.
Yeah. I think that is so deep-rooted, that problem. I would go further from what you said, Vamunsha, like we should feel sad. I would go further that we have to be categorical and very firm about this and collective in our condemnation of tribalism, and making our president feel like he has to explain himself at every given opportunity. He doesn't owe anyone an apology. If he wants, at this point, the Tongas are going to start experiencing the reverse of tribalism, you know, where the president would look at a candidate for a particular job who is incredible, but he'll be second guessing himself, thinking, he's Tonga, what are they going to say?
Yeah. And so that's very difficult. And we cannot allow it. We talk about it here on TV Bakwetu because we have to correct this unfair balance. We have to correct it. We have to correct this. It's in the mind, you know. We have to. We want to move beyond this, but we always keep coming back because it's still an issue, and even the president himself had to talk about it, spend a lot of time on it. No, minister.
That shouldn't happen at all. A president of Malawi, no, lupolonse bambuya bao bashikulu bao bonse babasende 10 kukubulaya. I think
and who is the leader?
Sorry,
Jeremy,
go for it.
Yeah, you see, Vamunsha, this discussion, I think I may declare some interest because I'm coming from the so-called minority region and all that, being a Northwestern and suffered the issue of tribalism. So I think I may declare some interest before they quote me whatever I'm going to say and forget what you are going to say. So better. I think
Okay.
you
So what you are saying, Jerome, is you want to leave it to me to say it, because if you did, somebody is going to come after you.
It will be a news headline.
You see, this is what should not be happening. This shouldn't just happen. It's a bit like racism. Us Black people are hell bent on condemning racism, calling it out at any given chance. Why do we not do the same about tribalism? It's just as bad.
Yeah, but the issue of tribalism is it's similar actions. Okay, so let me explain this to Kuabemba Banandi Navena Chpata, Avena Dembo, Pakaunda, Navena Devi. What happens is tribalism is this, okay? Same thing done, and you assign a different meaning to the same thing. You assign different motives to the same action. If Edgar Lungu appointed all permanent secretaries to be Northerners and Easterners, that's what he did. You can check the record. He did it. Why don't we say it was tribalism? Hakainde Hichilema appoints a cabinet from 10 provinces. Why do we think it is tribalism? Why do we even begin thinking it like that? Why did Edgar Lungu, the Sunday before Hakainde Hichilema even appoints a cabinet, say that certain regions are being marginalized? Why should that be tolerable?
It shouldn't. It should not be tolerable. And that was just playing psychological welfare before Talalanda cabinet Yakobachta preempt, so that he plants that evil seed in people's brains to start thinking now.
And that's why it didn't be what you needed to do. Kusonta fie, kusonta, all the, you know, bantu tabatasha.
Tabatasha.
Eh? Bantu takwa befya kwa muntu abomba trying to unite. Eh? Bantu no muntu ali bagwino kutasavuka. Eh? Amona fya if vintu ifitafitasha. Fya bango kuchende tabutasha.
Asab kapalas bamkeleba iku background kuvalelanda ati it's Kambwili, Luo, GBM, and Munya Zulu and Dora's forts. It will take time for this tribal cancer to be eradicated completely. So shameful and irresponsible behavior. That's from Mukelebai panelist abalaisa numbari.
Now balaisa mukulanda bamukelebai. Now balaisa mukulanda. And so these are the concerns that we have. Anyway, we move away from there. These are the presidential jet. I think it was very interesting. I think he is going to use eventually, but he first of all wants to clear the issues around it. Is that what you heard as well?
Yes, I think from what I heard, his priority is the economy. He wants to sort out the economy, and he feels everything anchors on how effective things are going to be run, how much money is going to be coming in the kitty, so to speak. But I think part of getting some money in the kitty would be selling that damn thing.
He's going to sell it?
No, I think then the president didn't say they are going to sell that,
No,
but
he didn't. I think he
we
should.
are going to show the people of Zambia how exaggerative the pricing for the same jet was, and how the people of Zambia paid twice the amount of money they were not supposed to pay for that. You see, when issues of procurement were talked about, I think people are thinking like we are trying to exaggerate some of the things which were happening, and people are trying to be like also news diggers trying to exaggerate and campaign the government. But PF was very pathetic, like their names, pathetic failures. it is just something like worse in terms of everything. So the president said, we are going to show, and Parliament is going to know how much was spent on the jet and what is the value of the same jet in from other people. What is the current value and how much we spent. That's how you are going to see how exaggerative the people were in the previous administration of pathetic failures.
Dr. Tommy and Patrick have just confirmed that they'll take it to Parliament to show the people how expensive it was. But for me, it's pointless. What I'm saying is, he should just sell it and let's just crack on. We don't have a lot of time to be trying to prove this and prove that. We all know that the Patriotic Front was a colossal failure. There were a group of thugs. I'm sorry to say this. So right now,
are you apologizing for calling them thugs? That's what they were, Linda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are criminals.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we should just crack on in repairing this economy. People have suffered enough.
Right. This is TV Bakwetu, and we have set off our discussion regarding the president's first inaugural press conference today. And I think we've given our views on what we feel as co-hosts here. And so we are going to bring up the rest of the TV Bakwetu crew so that we can zero in and get feedback and their opinion on the speech today shortly. TV Bakwetu is a star-funded project. And so send stars. How you send stars is simple. I think you go to your phone and then you send stars. So please do so. On YouTube as well, there are several things that you can do on YouTube. I understand you can press somewhere and then it tells you to send a gift to TV Bakwetu. And the reason why we do this, it's because we have to, we have to continue coming your way. And so we know that YouTube has been neglected in the past and we've received this feedback. So we are going to read your comments and know that you are part of this. Because we lean too much on Facebook without realizing that we are on Twitter, we are on LinkedIn sometimes, and we are on YouTube as well. And so we want you to know that you are valid members of TV Bakwetu. Regarding our numbers, we are supposed to. Our platform is limited right now to 10 at a time. And so when we expand the platform, we can probably have more. But for now, we use StreamYard, which is quite restrictive. Hopefully, we are going to expand a little bit more so that we can take in quite a lot of numbers. And so, Jerome, do you have anything else to say before we bring our crew?
Yeah, I think from today's press conference, first, as the UPND cadres, me, I'm a cadre. I don't hide that. I'm a cadre of UPND. So, sorry, I'm a proud cadre of UPND because I believe in the manifesto and also in the ideology of the president. The president, he told us to say, don't spoil what you have by doing things that you are not supposed to do. And for sure, that was a very good point and a reminder to all of us, the UPND cadres, just to chill and wait and also support the president with his cabinet he has appointed. Then the other touching point that I felt bad was the time he was remembering what happened to Nsamansama, to Joseph, and the other people who were killed in court. But you can see that the president was that touched, and it's like he even wanted like to cry, kind of. You see, when he was mentioning what used to happen in the previous government, and the good party also told the PF to say, can you behave and also let the line dog lie, and don't and let the sleeping dog continue sleeping, just something like that. And the other funny part was when he mentioned to say, you see, when someone goes to the party, they go get a photo at the party, Don't say like they were invited at White House. No, you are meeting Mamusha. The way Nani kumenye kunani kanisa kuja. You remember? Tuwako panapote. Then Nambo kulanda jo that you see. And I said, oh my goodness.
Yeah, how much? Jerome, kanga nga wakopona omuntu nishi nakuchita invite.
Yo.
Yo Mamusha teto chali cho. Chali cho. Tuanwa ti se nomba tukopeko fi Photoshop. Chani kaya baranga Zambia. Achoke na effort to alisikireko, but no later point to discuss it. And he mentioned to say, look, after we had our discussion, getting money from the US, it takes time. But in total amount, within days of being there, Zambia gained about 48.5 million US dollars. My goodness, what do you ask? For me, 2026, you should not even vote. Let's keep 2026.
But Jerome, take again.
How much?
Jerome. No,
the money is in Zambia, 48.5 million US dollars. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Well, someone went someone was going and making trips in the US, but none of that happened. But someone just there for hours. Please, what do you want us to do? Why should I not be excited?
What else? What else do you want?
The president and then use that Bemba proverb here on fish day that says on fish about I thought it was very interesting because he used an intonation that is actually Ushi. Uwomba mwibala lya mwibala is Bemba. Uwomba mwibala alya mwibala. That's what he says. Alya mwibala.
Have you noticed that the president is becoming good at other languages and Bemba too? He's becoming more eloquent.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
Yeah, that's true.
The other time, people were telling us that Bakapala Baku Valunda. No, Kanshi, if he's from Chifunabudi, ni Shikanshi Ivaburusha Susan. Chifunabudi.
Mwaba Klema, you claimed him.
Chifunabudi. Anyway, so that's very interesting, Vakapala. Anyway, so he was explaining himself that he has a government, a cabinet full of everybody from all over the country, which is pretty cool. Those were quite deep moments. There were several hilarious moments, and then there are a few hilarious funny moments.
There were
maturity. No, we are all mature.
Sometimes maturity dilute briefly. There were some incredibly funny moments.
So kuba seka kwati imwe mwali kuisa Jonse tinga tuwaya kuri nalikane imwe mwali ya kumapati no party
nishina baby no kubira kwa
and that's what we want, those incredibly funny moments, and I think we enjoyed it. Anything else, Linda?
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to allude to was he said something quite incredible and quite poignant that my trip there, and he always uses this we. Kunoko England, we call it the royal we. Only the Queen says, like, we this and we that, meaning a collective. We number HH tends to refer to himself as we, part of a team, which is incredible. He said something along the lines of, we've taken our place in the League of Nations. We've taken Zambia, as a country in the League of Nations. And that is quite important. He went there, stood firm, confident, eloquent, decisive, crystal clear on exactly what he wanted to deliver. Him sitting with the president of Switzerland was incredible, just discussing issues on a same level, not to let apologize, but David.
Vale, kolwa. Badanisibera
No
na
offense on
baba.
him. I've got this now cat laush na bakolwa nangu vale na be minina kwati vale apologize na maboko na be katefi, but 087. I mean, I have got in 007 James Bond. I was so proud, so impressed. Literally, that's why I call him 087. He's like, 007 James Bond. He asserted himself. Leaders are standing up. Like I was saying earlier, someone from the Foreign Office was talking about this. Your president really knows who he is, doesn't it? And I was like, but of course. I mean, he knows who he is. He's one of the wealthiest people in the country, and he knows his stuff. So anyway, he has enabled the world to look at us in a completely different light.
Yeah, I also found his comments about Congo very interesting.
Yes.
Balinda banks muri balamba, so you are very close to Katanga. Actually, bonsa balamba, imomwe balamba.
Not to kwambe if you bachelanda ba president, it's the kula kita tama smugglers na chumfa.
So
at muri ba Congolais. Now yaumbi.
No. Lambas, all the Pedico people, Fimofine. Even Jerome Kanika, I think Northwestern Province, extremely close to the Congo. And so it was very powerful when he said that we shouldn't be looking at the Congolese as smugglers, but as customers.
Absolutely. We've got so many products that they want. We need the cash. Treat them well. Yeah. Treat your customer well. Give them good customer service, not kulabachta abuse. And Naimuba Munsha, actually, we need to tell the general this. Kwaliba umomulumendo batemoko bataka wekele mu kunights ku Congo. Na munsha umbule. Nikemba ali nikemba wabashtasila.
No, yeah, but general to Arelanda po Jonse, well, when he goes there to Arep sana no. Don't you ever say that about this gentleman. Bantu, no, all I'm saying is that he should go to school in Kinshasa. But the Congo is a very close place to us, particularly all of us as Pedico peoples. Abalamba, Abalala, Abaswaka, Fueba Ushi, Abalunda, Bena Chishinga, Navena Ngumbo. All of us Pedico peoples are very, very extremely close to Katanga, and we should never be ashamed of that.
That's true.
And so because of that, it's good that we have a president who is aware of that. And who knew that this president is actually from Wengwa, but he has insight into cultural nuances of what happens at the Pedico. One time I visited Zambia and Gafiafine because I live in Canada and Zambia at the same time. But so na refwa yokuya tandalira ko ba bululu wandi pamokambo. Because it's Pedico. And I couldn't take akasaka kabunga because of I'm a soldier. We are going to take akasaka kabunga. Ako na refwa kutwalira ko ba bululu bandi pamokambo. I couldn't.
That's more of a smuggler.
That is smuggling. There was national service there trying to stop. But Badevi, then abantu babo, they were sending truckloads of bunga across to Kasumba.
And Zambia produces so much mealie meal. Ngature bachita treat with good customer service, not kula bachita abuse. Even small scale farmers could start making a decent living.
I mean, Babanji Kaunda was here, and Babanji teine yo. It was Kane Opanji Balandiro Koivati. Even in Malawi, imagine Malawi. If I were to under the Chiwempala plan, Gatwateka, as Chiwempala, idia border yaku Malawi idia. Abena Malawi should freely roam around Zambia. For 6 months. free service. But under Badevi, Malawans were being harassed. Obungafie, just like what happened in Katanga when I wanted to go visit my relatives at Mokambo. If the same thing was happening in Malawi, now who take over Msangoshan? May that government come back. Anyway, Walanda sana. Bushaine nalanda sana.
Walanda sana once.
Yeah, I think that's true. Vamusha. The other thing that I was also happy about the president is he said he was asked about the report from the auditor. I think today the auditor was issuing the audit report, and the president answered to say all those cases that were there, they have already been taken to national. Is it a national prosecution authority? Yeah, something like that. And he said, no, let's give them a week. If they will not do anything or summon those people, myself as a president, I'm going also to take the same document. I'll take to them to take action until they take action for those people who have been found wanting. And he asked the people, the Auditor General, to say, are you sure? Do you have evidence for all this? And the Auditor General answered to say, yes, we have evidence. And why he also asked, he went further to ask to say, what about why all this time you are not doing this? The Auditor General answered that there's no political will. But the president assured the Auditor General to say, there is now a political will. So I'm waiting now to see how, especially my ministry, that has again made it big in the Auditor General report, to see how they are going to act. You know, when I say the ministry, I talk about the Ministry of Health, and in this situation, I'm talking about Madam and the team. To get, not the minister, but Masomba Funyeko, Bakaele. The minister Tabari come 2020. Tabari come Funyeko, but Malama Mumuleti apa, Naba Nanko Avena Mukonka, Navina Simon Meet. Mubalete then mubaliti apa barondore pama tricycles barondore. Imagine in 2020 alone, the people of Eastern Province, the people of Western Province, and the people of Lusaka Province consumed fake drugs worth 988,000, worth fake drugs worth 1 million. Sure.
Yeah, that
just in 2020.
Yeah.
When last time when I mentioned to say that 85% of the Zambian drugs are fake, people were calling me names. I told them to say, no, this is the fact. Go and check with the regulators of these drugs. You'll find these facts are there, that 85% of the drugs in Zambia that we consume are fake. The auditors report have said public institutions with all the state machinery, they had to buy drugs worth worth 1 million kwacha to give the Zambians, which were fake. Besides the fake tricycles, but
But Jeremy, you did listen pretty closely. Well done.
Yes.
Finish your last point.
No, let me end here, but I'm waiting for Madam and the team to be not reporting at Indeke House, but to be reporting by the Central Police or other investigative area, not MOH. No, they should stop with immediate effect and go answering the audit queries. How they subjected the 17 million Zambians to counterfeit medicines, not year 2019. Number imbi ya fake ya 2020 last year. Again, Yabena Zambia badi nwemi tisha fake. So they need to say these are technical matters. Vamusha, this is technical. It's not administrative. It's technical. You see?
No, Deram. You like making all this distinction. It doesn't make a difference. All the senior technical officers per Ministry of Health should be gone. I don't care. I don't care about other ministers. No, but Ministry of Health, but all the Senior directors, they should have been sent on leave. PSS fired, like Malama, criminal, fired, completely fired, you know. And I'm deliberately calling him a criminal so that it is registered that Malama is a criminal who conspired with the rest of the people who supplied fake things to our country. He does not deserve to be.
What perplexes
and so
me
the fact that he's here 1 month later makes me incredibly angry.
What perplexes me, Bamunsha, is how the Zambian people were quite blasé about all these things happening, and they endured the scandals in 2019, the honeybee, then the COVID scandals, and yet HH Alanda had free education. My which that demonstrates at that free education. Why haven't they taken this seriously? But that demonstrated what ma condoms are defective. What
yeah, it's I think we need to begin no, I don't want to say we need to begin doing anything. I think we need to continue advocating that changes take place at Ministry of Health. I'm impatient. I think we are willing to be extremely patient with the president, but Ministry of Health changes needed to take place as in yesterday. There is no reason why Mr. Malama and his senior management team should still be at the Ministry of Health. I don't care. Chama Pesi.
Yes, Doctor.
Pesi, thank you for those clips. Oh, you know what? I'm not used yet. Your title and Sobaka Sonso always has something to say about my doctorate degrees, but I'm not yet used. So thank you very much.
No problem, my brother.
And thank you for all those cutouts you do. They make a huge difference, and people like them a lot. So let's continue doing them. So did you have anything to say?
Well, actually, myself, the only thing I can say, yes, the speech was perfect. But I only have one problem. The only problem I have is the actual members of that political party, because I'm not a member of that political party. It's the way they are. You know, when a preacher is on the pulpit, each preacher will read a verse, and the way they will describe what they've read, it's totally different to the next preacher. That's what's happening right now with the message of the president. The best example I can give you, the same thing I've been hitting the nail on, cadres in the market. You read some of the comments from the actual members. To them, the president said they can have structures inside the market. When I didn't hear the president say that, that's what I'm trying to say. They are trying to each one president. No, let's go word for word. Don't start making things up. That's how I say it. I think that I like a papel. I think I would have said something about that, but the president said no more debate. So for me as a UPND card and member, no more debate from me. Thank you.
Professor Kasonso.
Mkwai, first of all, allow me to publicly honor you and welcome you to the exclusive club of titled gentlemen, Dr. Elias Mucha with your PhD. And so our scale is getting heavier and heavier with Dr. Barbara Tate. So nabambi na venaka so nalelo toaleta mdu chindu chi PhD cha kwa Munsha. So anyway, it's very good to fraternize with your family and to our viewers. And I'm just soaking in the excitement of the whole chat. And, you know, as usual, I have things that excite me and things that don't excite me. But the big issue for me here is that finally the country, the Republic of Zambia, has a president that we can all believe in. Alelande Tishinka Kalevepa. One, Two, he is opened the corridors of power to his people, that it's about them. I noted several things from his address. Of course, in the Mutwa number. Kalini chinali kuwa ichina na pashima peponga wa mchechi washimikile mbila wa tutelo wakutulo mutulo wa mono kumataule sapa mpashi aenda. So for those of us who are from pastorate, alisa shimikila pastor echechi kuno bamufuntuira $30 million by USAID. Padena tumuto teleko ali bomba mwaume. So ishenda na mesho chile isa kuzambia through USAID programs. Takwa salary increment now in country increment from 18 million to whatever by 30 million ali bomba uliatata. Chimbicho na chisata shako ba Luvinda na la balombula pa vice president ba chipanchava sakala balisa isinokusa yumfo no even President Lungu went to America no pia kumanya Barack Obama Shan is not the first one. President Umwinatisa chita clarify that iyo bamukumanishishe muibala nangu mulika corridor ine banchi tefe invite invite bachiruwa bashikaulu beawa tirafineko aile wakina benu bamuchita invite elonga bakuchita invite nishinaka pia kala konka mona ma programs yala konka mona bana basungu balaisa ni charto kola bombela pamo. That is the most important country in the global economy. So nabo pene bana natumuto teleko uleta tari bomba ala lete chalo ichikala mboku fuma Acha tuweba no kutuweba ati economy ya chalo ibombela pama sentiment ivi nga tulewe mfabwino mu economy twala ya bombesha nakabwali twala leta kuganda nabana balalia. Economy works on sentiments. If people are feeling good about the prospects of the country, they will have hope and they work hard. And he shared with us that that is the country he was dreaming about. So na eneyo na chite mwasana elo chimbiba musha achisa akomaila because this past week bali tuchusha sana ba PF bamukubula ama sentiments yafi ama gay rights ya mashani elo bala fibika pamoja na elo na abachita confront nje nomba mwafuma pali tribalism elo mwabula na abatonga nomba mwambo kwe batonga nibaya kumpuyo ifyonsha sumine fyako kubefi. So he addressed that head on because they were spreading this news kwa bati yo kateka ile mkulia mukumfana pa fya ma lesbian ni fya mashane na shane. No, we've got problems ku Zambia. Ule focus waka panuma fya ko efyo ule focus waka pantage evyo tubomba fwe bantu mo tsalira na bana. Nomba no tumubule fya ko swako efyo mulete pa stage ya Zambia evyo tumecha discuss ko bantu wale lale nsala shuwa bamambala. So achiba keninga pada na chitemwa sana achilanda puno kwa na chitalobi umuti wa ma vaccines ya COVID. So kwa bokupela kwa abantu na makadazi bakanyika na kanyata ba market wala bapela kwa kunjifya kuchita elo na timba tabakula senda mukula abantu ama foreigners ama license yala kubenda Zambia no kwata mama shares muma mines elo achisa chita address na head on issue ya gender kwali bamusha apa balisa kalabana sana ba doctor paranisha tatura wafike inganga balisa kalabana sana hiyo ndefu abana kashana mu cabinet ndefu sana bakashana mu cabinet achisa kateka no kwisalondolola kwebati in fact achishako munaina la mubika ati vice president mwana kashi Elon na vika puna first lady wesu mwana kashi. So I know abana kashemo bali muteko wako abana kashi muteko wako bali raisa abacha confront bana mayo ati awe na bantu meshenu na bale fai kwa machito mwipoka machito evo chaba kuno kwa America bali tutebera kuno bana mayo kuno kashi ngo ma offices wasanga beka you know. So if you other feel okuchitachiwa balance ko tureleta mo abakusana chena chachindetere nsansa mweba nani elo ichikankala pali fyonse me as an educator ichachinsansa musha ichakwisala ndokwebati he has been learning ili waile mofi tafikirefe kwati chibanda o kwati nichakolwa na noka chaso chani Jameson ambo kusala abata mchabata shana ali ya mkubelenga no kuchita study fyonse okuishi wao uyu muko wanshi uyu nkamubika paisa ifo bale chitanifi. But there was the biggest powerful sentiment that touched me. Nishachitalanda pandeke achisabo mfya weti ati it was disgusting. It was disgusting and it was discussing ero asokana vena Zambia muleba care okusala president. So next president tatwakayemufunya ku PF tukesa musala pano pene yapo tukamufunya so nansensemuka sana reaction twala program twala control program. So we'll be careful. It was discussing fiefa bashitema mkushitendeke pamitengo shari exaggerated na shafyari chene chalo. So ero ile bachilando kwe bati bakaitwala ku parliament muimona kwati mukutwala ku parliament mukuma jokes kuya mukuchita show impropriety yakwakateka walipo kwe bati tuye mtu mufunye kali yakala tembo tumufunye kali yakantu akale mchingira kwe bati tumulo leshepo batumilando twakwe. That is part of it. Inefe na chitontonkani mitonongashanda. So nishira kona banandi nefe achinsa samushine fin sana nefe kwatapa so achibomba wino sana ule tata mwe.
Vakasonzo Wesu, I feel like giving you a round of applause. That was an all-round kind of analysis. Mwabombeni, mwachira umfuikisha kanshani. Before we move on to the next person, I just wanted to recognize a few people who have shared our link, and we actually have 1.5 K watching because of a lot of people have shared. Bridget Kanyanta, well done, and several other people sharing the link. So our numbers are constantly increasing because you're sharing the Bakweto link. So well done, thank you. Bamusha.
So you mentioned of the people that are so from my screen spread across all the four platforms, we're at 2,600. But of course, while we are very grateful for this number, it only excites Vakasonso as a man of numbers. If we now but this is a very good number to Atotela San. Mohammed.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Pakweto family. It's nice to be back on after a long time. I've been struggling to get on, but thanks to Gladys, I managed to use a back road. But coming to today's program on HH's presser, very articulate, very deep, and very political. HH used all his angles, his astuteness, his salesmanship to sell HH, the product, HH, the UPND president, the presidency to the people of Zambia and the wider world. What I realized and what I heard from the speech today was the HH we know that he will deliver for us. One thing I'd like to pick up just now, which you mentioned, the mention of the Gulf Stream. I mean, the Gulf Stream, it was a deliberate question planted to try and fool the people's aspiration. HH was too smart for this. When he answered that, if you analyze how he answered that question, it was incredible, because he says the amount of corruption, the plunder that took place in acquiring that aircraft will throw you off the chairs. Those are, I think, the words he used, and obviously it is now going to the parliament. From that analysis, there are two things I have deduced, and I don't know whether the panel will agree with me or not. First and foremost, if you realize just before the trip to America, PF and everybody were trying to go him to try and use the Gulf Stream to go to America and all that. Also, some people will say, "Oh, will you now sell it? And can you sell the Gulf Stream?" What HH has done, and this is something for everybody to understand what kind of a person this guy is and what mindset he's coming from. If he decides to sell it tomorrow, we know for a fact that this was bought at triple the value it was supposed to have been bought for. HH will be accused of selling a state asset at a loss. Like how he was being accused of privatization, they would have come back and said, "Oh, he sold it to some of his friends and blah, blah, blah," and all that would have come up. People haven't realized that. He has not even committed on selling it or not. He wants to bring the people on book. This is evidence as well. That's something that's very important for us to understand. On a lighter note, also, Jeremy is cadre that is taking a lot of limelight for us. Very good. But remember what HH has just said. We do not want any thuggery anywhere. So be creative TV, be careful with our Jeremy's statements, we have to be, but he's in good spirits and it's wonderful. The other thing that I would like to take up on, which is Wamuncha's comment on Kagame, I agree with you. And I agree with you wholeheartedly what we're going through. But I would like to add one more. Blair also fits in the bill with Kagame, one of those that entered Iraq on false pretenses, and look at where Iraq is today. This is for a different day. We should discuss that. On situation on the funding and how lean members he had when he went there. Look at what he did there. He went with a few people. He even canceled the Impress Fund. And he even mentioned that, when people were coming here, they were having boat trips and whatever, at the expense of the taxpayer of Zambia. And he's done away with the Impress Fund. That's good stuff. But look at the salesmanship of this man. He goes to a meeting when he first gets 18 million, then he's discussed Zambia's attitude and Zambia's vision of fighting corruption and things. And within 2 or 3 days of his visit there, they increased it to 30 million, another 30 million. And he even mentioned that amount that was issued without even going to the Senate or Congress for approval. This is a first for Zambia. Really, we are on a world stage. We are on a limelight. What we have to be proud of this particular speech today. But we also have to fuck up pressure on UPND and HH as well, because as far as the slowness of the movement of trying to get the corrupt people, the scandals that's taking place just now, there was a Makula thing, 200 trucks, whatever things. We have to be on top of it. Although he has given a warning to the authorities, the NPA, to act within 2 days or something, otherwise he will be reacting together. So yeah, let's wait and see. Good days, happy days, and hopefully before the independence celebration on 24, we will have some very tangible sort of results coming from all these inquiries. And it's good days. That's my sentiments. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Another very powerful analysis there. I thought I could just squeeze in Marina from YouTube, just saying, don't forget us, pretty much. We have 624 in the chat. Fantastic. And one other message from Akim Sims on Facebook saying, Vamunsha, the consistency on TV Wakwetu is very helpful to the president as he seems to trust it. Most of the discussions that have taken place on Wakwetu TV, I've been following them. They have been acted on by the president pretty much straight away. So keep up the good work. Over to you, Vamunsha.
One more thing just before I end. The 48 million he got, right? That is the price of the Gulf Stream we bought. Can that make sense? We just by his own trip there, we've got the Gulf Stream for free. So even if he uses it now, he's collected the money.
Yeah, Mohammed, thank you. Thank you very much. I am going to go off a bit, and we're going to create a little more room to have the 10. Thank you so much for those that have sent stars, and on YouTube, 624 watching. Great. Please keep up, share, like the page, and invite as many people as possible. So we have Dr. Kasonso there. We have Dr. Tommy there. We'll be having Sister Likezo Masua shortly. And so thank you very much for staying with us. This is TV Vakwetu, and Linda and Jerome are continuing.
Okay. But Jerome, over to you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Patrick, I think you have not said anything. Oh, before you go, let's go for gender first. Gladys, say something, please. Then your Patrick, you follow. Please, let's also be gender sensitive.
Yeah, good evening, everybody, and good evening, viewers. Well, it's amazing with the press conference. I don't even know where to start from. All I would say is the president walked us through the entire agenda, and I was really astonished that I saw it twice. And I would say that it's like the entire Zambians had got Peloton. If you remember Peloton from those days, we had malaria and then we got Peloton. So it was 10-0. We got cured. And I was really, he has a very good sense of humor. And I was really touched when he started. He emphasized on the UPND colleagues, as he said that some of you, my UPND colleagues, are behaving like you are not in the government. So that simply shows that he's really got the ears on the ground and is hearing what is happening. So he's not just ignoring it. And he also talked about that. I'll say it in Bemba at ba UPND mweba lefwayo utufulwati mbikeni ko ba PS so that I can do what the PF was doing. Ala mukaba muka kubila bajero munga mulefo ayakadalize mu mulefo utufulo mukaba muka kubila. So it's just like teaching your own children. You look through into your house to say, before you get into the other house, teach your children to have good manners. Absolutely. That was really, really great. And also the sense of inclusion, where he kept on saying, we, as Linda said, it's not many leaders, only those who have a sense of inclusion, where they said, it's not about him. It's all about the entire Zambian people. And also, I'll be quick so that other people can also take over. And also touched the travel to the US, where he talked about the gay rights, because it seems like the PF are trying to use a certain strategy, a negative strategy, to attack on the current government using the gay right, because they know that being Zambia is a Christian nation, and they hammer on it that he's gone to the US to discuss to legalize homosexuality, which he did not. It was just expectation. I mean, they were just,
speculating.
So, over to you, moderator. I'll leave it to other people.
You're so right, Gladys. They're obsessed with this gay thing. And he categorically said, we did not go to the UN to bring gayism. I like that phrase, gayism. So that is right. Well done. We are going to, Jerome, you said Patrick should come next time.
Yes, I think that's what I said.
Well, Patrick, over to you.
Vaimba valeroresha sana. Hello, Sister Barbara, but it's so serious. What's happening?
My God. I'm waiting for my turn so I can say the word.
Okay.
And then
I'll be quick. I'll be just browsing through. Yeah. I was listening to the press conference whilst I was working. And I'm telling you, it was fantastic. HH is the definition of a president. I think finally we've got a president we can say we are proud of. And this double H7 has brought so much confidence, goodwill to Zambia. And this is why people like Tony Blair would come here. You know, he got a lot of money by Asonso has mentioned about it. And it was fantastic. But I still feel HH is doing too much. 200 minutes. I still feel the Minister of Information should have covered some of these issues even before HH came back, because some of these issues happened before he went to America. And I was expecting HH to come and tell the nation how he traveled to America and, you know, all the good things, the benefits of traveling to America. But some of these other things should have been done by the Minister of Information or other ministries. Yeah, so I'm worried that HH might burn out one day because he's doing too much. But anyway, let's move on. And then HH also touched about the issue. I was actually disappointed because he touched about the issue of the impressed carriers job that is will no longer be there. And I was interested in this job. I'm so disappointed. and the other thing I was so impressed about is he has actually reassured the youth, because the youth have been anxious. You know, what's happening, you know, talked about the markets and other things, but HH was very clear that the first thing we need to do is to repair the economy. And then once the economy is repaired, jobs will come. And also, he also mentioned the other thing that touched me so much, which I've been advocating for so long. A lot of African countries have done it. Nigeria, you find that each state, like province, has got a governor, and the governor runs that budget. And there's a lot of transparency. So it spoke about decentralization, taking development to the community. And he also said this will reduce corruption, because once you centralize everything in Lusaka, there's so much bureaucracy, and bureaucracy is what causes a corruption, and that's a very good thing. He mentioned about the benefits of going to the United Nations General Assembly, which you guys know, and he also answered a question about a lot of us have been asking about recovery of stolen assets, but and then he mentioned about the Gulf Stream and taking that issue to Parliament. You know, we all knew that that Gulf Stream smells a dead rat. It's tainted with so much corruption, you know, and I can't wait for that report. Then the other thing he mentioned about is the auditor's report, the latest one. Mm-hmm. And I just saw it before we started. It's a long report. But one thing which Jerome touched is if you guys go and look at page 105 to 108, which Jerome alluded to, talking about another scandal by this criminal called Dr. Malama and them at Ministry of Health. You know, it talks about the corruption there. You know, if these guys cannot be taken to court and prosecuted, I don't know what's going to happen, because it's scandals after scandals. And the sad thing is they're still sitting there, still stealing.
Yeah. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah,
I'll come
and then
back to you.
just to quickly, moderator, I won't be long. And then he talked about justice. What is happening about Kaunda and Sama. And he also mentioned about we shouldn't fight each other, but we should fight poverty. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Barbara, over to you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back to family and everybody watching from up and around the countries, in the world, wherever you are. Welcome to the team. I just want to, first and foremost, the press conference was one of a kind in the last, I don't know how many years that Zambia last had a press conference. I can't even count. It was a first. Number two, his body language is of a very confident person who knows what he's talking about. He knows who he is. He knows exactly where he wants the country to go. He has found where Zambia was, where we are at now, and his vision of where we are meant to be. He's explained his travels to America. He's told everybody step by step what he was doing. what we are expecting. He's explained, because this is very important, especially to the PF. And before I go to that step, I would like to thank the PF, because hand on heart, their thuggery, their theft, their uselessness has brought us HH. If they even tried to be thieves with a bit of Robin Hood in them, where they share a bit to the poor, maybe would still have them, because the poor people would be like, no, they gave me some food. But these were proper thugs who didn't even care about the orphans or the poor people. So I would like to thank them for bringing HH into power, because they're absolutely useless.
Mhm.
He replied to them, because they're the people who are obsessed with gayism, I am calling them perverts themselves, because there's absolutely no way somebody goes all the way to America to lobby for money that you yourselves have stolen. So the cow that HH is talking about, they've cut off the legs of all these cows that would have been milking for Zambia. These same people have come back to say HH has gone to America to talk about gayism, because they are perverts themselves. They could have mentioned so many other things, but the only thing they were saying is gayism, because probably they are perverts themselves. Anyway, he explained that in detail. Not only that, he mentioned that lady that I think their studio was having problems, and he gave a personal touch to that lady and said that they'll help them, and they know exactly. And he said it on a one-to-one, like from his own heart. He was quite personal. I can't remember exact words and the lady's name, but that touched me, because he said, we're going to help you. He also put a stop to the noise within our own. I am a UPND person. Within our own team, we started dividing ourselves, because let's not beat about the bush. A person or a child who's been bullied, a child who's been abused, at some point will become an abuser, at some point will become the bully, if the things that they were dealing with is not dealt with. We have people within UPND who are so trigger happy to do the same things that UPND was doing. And HH has put a stop to that. We don't want cadres in the market, because the same things that the people didn't want, why would we start again to go back to the market? Yeah. So that's really good, and he's put a stop to that. The last thing is that, of course, I was laughing at, our Adada Lungu and the wife. They were really flashily dressed in her sparklies to go and see Obama. They didn't know they were in Madame Tussauds. They genuinely thought they were being invited to White House. Calm down, Scholastica. To create the picture, to the.
Somebody actually posted, Barbara, on that point, saying if someone comes to England and goes to Madame Tussauds, it doesn't imply that you've been invited to Buckingham Palace.
No, it's just a picture.
It's just a picture.
Just a picture. They took it personally. They were like, Lubinda, I'm sure he doesn't even know how these things work, because he was busy going around the country saying, our Lungu was invited by Obama. Calm down.
There. Thank you.
I'm sure he's watching. He doesn't even know what this is all about. He's trying to log into Bakwetu, but he doesn't know what to press on. Poor him.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. I'll move on to Dr. Tommy, please. Take a peek on any of the topics.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator Valinda Banks. But before I delve into my point, I would like to also join others in congratulating Brother Musha. Welcome home. Welcome to the House of Doctors. He deserves a round of an applause. So I thought I should spend 10 seconds to surely appreciate. It doesn't come easy, and I followed his defense. All the Wakwetu family should be proud of this man. It's very clear, and it will really assist even the churches in Zambia to understand their connection with politics of the day. So well done, my brother in backstage. Coming to the speech, without repeating what my colleagues have said, like I mentioned earlier on, the president just exhibited today how professional he is. And the new narrative that he is bringing to Zambia of doing things different from the 10 years the PF planted of doing things. He used the word haphazard. So I like also his method. You know, he said I'm methodical the way I'm doing things. I think his patience should go to everyone. He touched on one point on the DRC. Don't buy BMWs. Buy machinery that can be that can help you to trade with DRC. There's potential market in DRC. We have been tuned to think DRC is associated with everything bad. Yet there's money that is lying there. So I think that was a very good point to talk about, something not expected, honestly. That was very good. Then another point of how the PF are taking him for granted. You know, they are playing guilt conscious, and he's aware of that. What we need to know is that the president has been long enough to understand the PF traps and maneuvers around to sway the people's attention. So his patience today and cascading his vision and plans, the way of answering questions, it just shows that this man has a plan. So be patient with him. Brother Jerome, I understand when you cry for markets. It is the PF mentality. But we have to do away with that. If you can go to Botswana, you don't find the cadres. Politics are there. You go to Namibia, there's no politicizing of markets and bus stations. What is unique about Zambia? What is unique? So through the small medium enterprises, the youth are going to have jobs. Something is there for the youth. Stop following the narrative of PF. It only leads to destruction. Look where they are today. And if we say, let's organize structures in the market, you can't control these guys. You can't. We are bringing chaos. So the Lusaka provincial minister was out of order. It was out of order. And we don't want such embarrassing things to the president. No. Because he was just being a very gentleman to say, I'll come and talk to you. That is being gentleman. Otherwise, the guy was out of order. Don't incite the youth to agitate violence. So the president was very clear. The speech was very good. Even the PF, never sekelamo. Only the Pompe are still scratching their heads. Okay, we have 3 minutes. Let me allow another person to speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Ralinda, I think on the debate of that, the president said it's over, no more debates.
No more debate. But Jerome will be very obedient. I'm impressed.
Debates, please. I don't want to say whatever. No more debates.
So, Jerome always tends to get the flack for this, but we always just say it in jest because he's a self-acclaimed cadre. So, address amakaders once kusonta ba Jerome, but it doesn't necessarily mean that all those things are directed at him. And
thank you, moderator. That was this.
Yeah. Could we kindly just have ourselves muted if we are not speaking, in case you get a very important phone call from the president? They want to offer, maybe he wants to offer your position as PS. You can speak without worrying about us listening. I think in an alleged advocate by Jerome as a permanent secretary, I'll be bold enough to say that you've got the passion, you've got the knowledge, you've got the zeal. I think permanent secretary would suit you really well. Plus a little bit of cadreism. So
Barinda, before you go further, let me just answer there right here. Barinda, you should know that UPND has just formed the government, and we need people to remain in the party. If you want me to go, that who's going to take care of the party?
Find somebody, Jerome. We'll find other people. We have just
No,
been joined.
no. Barinda, let's first strengthen UPND, grow UPND, and have our roots get rooted in the governance, and also in educating the people about our manifesto. I think I'm playing a very big role in terms of highlighting the problems of the PF, including especially in the Ministry of Health. So please, I would love to remain there.
Oh, you want? Okay. We'll talk. I'm sure we can advocate for something that you like. I'll move on to Bamalama. Then Keleba, you've just joined us. Welcome, sir. Nice to see you. Bamalama, go for it. You have a minute and a half.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening. Thanks for that. Yeah. I just wanted to pick up on a point which I touched on briefly. It's my third time appearing on here anyway. And one of the things that I mentioned about the first time I appeared on here was about the fact that our new president seems to be quite methodical in the way he does his things. And it is something that he himself mentioned in his speech today, to say he is aware of how impatient we are generally as the masses about things being attended to, such as corruption. And he made a good point to say he doesn't want to be rushed. He wants things done in a very methodical way, such that if a case is picked, it's well investigated, and is taken to the prosecutors, there's a high chance of it being successfully prosecuted. And he mentioned the fact about that when he receives the reports from the Auditor General, you ask them to take them to the prosecutors, and if they don't do that, he himself is going to be following that up as the president, to say, I'm taking this file down there myself, which is a very good point, because it now gives us that assurance, especially the impatient ones like myself, to say something is being done. Even though something seems to be going quiet, the president still has his ears to the ground, and he is interested in things that are happening, which is almost exactly what he said about the Gulf Stream, about his intention to take it to Parliament. So you can tell that he's a very well thought out person who's looking at things, both from a point where he wants to study them, understand them well, then he knows clearly when to take them where they need taking to. I think that was a very reassuring point.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you so much. He appears to be quite methodical, doesn't he? A comment from Catalina Mwanza. She's saying, this stands out for me, talking about what stood out for her at the press conference. Let's not fight each other, but let's fight poverty. And that's quite poignant, actually. And on that note, I will very quickly move on to Keleva.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity as well to say just a few words. I would just summarize Hakainde's speech, which was marvelous. In short, say that he simply told us to say, we shall cross the bridge when we get there. Meaning, Walungu, prepare yourself, hire lawyers. Because your time, my brother, is coming. Because whatever you did, because all the finger is pointing at who the person that was in the presidential seat, the commander-in-chief. All this theft that took place, you, Mr. Lungu, tolerated or encouraged, because there was no political will. And when it comes to prosecution, yes, your people will be prosecuted, as our president has put it, and you as the head of state at the time, you will probably vicariously be liable too, because you were the one that was in power or in charge. You tolerated this ship to sink. You sank our economy. You destroyed our country. Therefore, Mr. Hakainde has put it clear. He just told the Zambian people that we shall cross the bridge when we get there. All these faith we see, all these this mine, what you call it, him who is liquidator, all the monies that we are busy hearing, the finger is busy pointing at one particular individual who entertained and tolerated all these atrocities and unreasonable behavior taking place in our beautiful country, the so-called Christian country. And you, Mr. President Walungu, disguised us under the pretext that you were a Christian, and people were even calling you the chosen one. Now, look what this person that you negated, that you persecuted, within a month, what he has done, what he has achieved within a month out of the 7 years you came into power. It's disgrace. Therefore, President Vesuva Hakainde, we thank you so much. We want you to continue with the same spirit. Your speech, I'm not going to say a lot of things in this speech. It was perfect. And you, the PF, with your tantrums, you are busy trying to show, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Very much ashamed. Go to your homes, sit there, listen, evaluate what you did to us, how you destroy the country. Therefore, you need to shut up. Sorry, Vamush. I really, really want to tell them that.
Kalevai, I can sense the passion in your voice. Thank you so much. And I'm sure now Wonfa trying to sabotage the plans of the sitting government is not a good idea. They just need to give the man a chance to work, and let's give him time basically and see what he can do. I understand there's a question from one of our panelists who's not here, so I'm going to hand over to Gladys so that you can read Beauty's comment, please.
Thank you, Linda. There is a question from Beauty, and she asked, are there homosexuals in Denmark, in Zambia today, in Zambia today? And she apologizes for asking that question, and she says, is it wrong to ask that kind of a question? And kindly, please don't attack me. That's what she says.
Oh, bless her. I'm not brave enough to answer that because I don't have any facts. Are there any? That's a very tricky question.
I can answer it.
Okay. Before we do that, let's just keep that question in mind. I'm very conscious of time, so I'm going to give Percy a minute and a half. Then I will move on to Dr. Kasonso. I like calling these people Dr. something. I'm inspired. Dr. Banks. But Percy, go for it. Then we'll come and respond to that question.
Okay, as I said, the speech was good, and I did say what I don't like from the members, what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, yeah, I know you said you answer that question later. Okay,
but before I'm a comments from our viewers.
No, actually, most of the viewers, they were actually impressed with Muhammad.
Fantastic. That's good.
With what he said. the way he analyzed things. Because okay, people are used with my brother Wakasoso, so they were not surprised when he was analyzing, but they were very impressed. Yeah, they were very impressed with Muhammad, of which even myself, I was impressed with the comment I was reading. You know, for example, when he mentioned Tony Blair, and we were all accused who were there yesterday. You remember last night nobody mentioned Tony Blair. That's what people were complaining. And I agree with Musha, with the president of Rwanda, that is a killer. Yes, I agree with that. Same applies to Tony Blair, but for us who live in the United Kingdom,
that's some sort of ukuba biased, because is it because Bantu Musungu? Tony Blair is just as I can't say very much. We know what Tony Blair is.
No, but it's us. It's us. For example, us who live here.
Yeah,
I'm Labour. You understand? Yeah. I voted for him to come into power. So it's kind of a tricky question for me, though I agree that they've got some war crimes hanging around them with
blood on their hands. Now we have exactly 4 minutes. So point now I won't start with Bakasonso data, not data, data, like what a few data. So very briefly, please,
first and foremost, issue ya kwa Kagame and Rwanda.
Sorry, hold on to
that. No, just one line on it.
Just respond to Iyabuge Zambia Bamalama very
briefly. Because
I'll give you a chance, Bakasonso.
Just a sentence and a half.
I'll come back to you, Bakasonso. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Bamalama, go for it.
No, what I was going to say quickly is every country has got gays, you know. It's so widespread. It's just that back in Zambia, it's illegal, obviously. So people don't do it in the open, but there are gay people there. My point, though, and this is a purely personal view, is if someone is doing something that doesn't hurt me personally, I'm not interested, you know?
Okay, thank
and
you.
A lot of times these things, people do them in their bedrooms. Yeah, of course, there's some people want to do the sort of things they want to do in public. Sure. But the reality is we do not have a very big community in Zambia for us to be so preoccupied about that. I once attended a conference in Oxford where we had Dr. Guy Scott when he was vice president, and the question was put to him regarding this. And he said, and I remember very clearly, he said, we've got a population of almost 80% of our population are living under the poverty datum line. That is our priority. So I'm not going to spend time talking about a population of less than 1%. So in terms of priorities, that's where we should be looking. This issue of this subject is just a handful of people who are trying to throw it at the center of discussions, but really
they're just using it as propaganda to tarnish the image of the current government. Another minute, please be conscious of time. I hate stopping people in the middle of their sentence.
I'm happy to give the floor to someone else.
Yeah, did you want to add to that? You're muted.
I believe I concur with Mamalama. It's true. We Zambians, it's too early for us to even start talking about gayism when we have so much big pressing issue. You know, we know we have the law that does not permit, you know, and that law was simply inherited from the British colonial. So we are yet to reach there as well. We know that according to our beliefs, the Christianity, you know, it doesn't actually permit this gay whatever. So we understand that part, and Zambian being declared a Christian nation, it will be too early for us, and our people don't need to start discussing about gay. We know that gayism or whatever, homosexuality does happen. It's there in Zambia, everywhere in Africa, everywhere.
Yeah.
But people tend to discuss about things that are serious, like corruption.
Okay.
I would rather talk about corruption that
Okay.
these chaps are stolen than talking about gay who are not harming anybody, but making love. Who are we to judge them? We are not
If
God.
I had to play devil's advocate, what about human rights? Don't these people who have got a different sexual orientation have the rights to practice?
We have the Bill of Rights that protects everyone.
Okay,
that
thank you.
protects and recognizes everyone, no matter how, in whatever shape you are, for as long as, just by virtue of being a human being, you are protected under the Bill of Rights. And we should not negate other people otherwise, or treat them or discriminate them.
Fair enough.
And that law is very discriminatory, and it should be declared null and void.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Gladys, do you want to add to that?
Yes, please. I would say that LGBT is there, especially in prisons and also in boarding schools. And normally, like in boarding schools, sometimes probably they do it unconsciously without knowing that this is leading to gayism. But since Zambia is like a Christian nation, so a lot of people are living in a closet, trying to hide because they'll be judged. Of course, they'll be stoned probably. So
they practice it
there
subconsciously. Explain that a
I'm
little.
sorry. Can I interject? I'd like to correct something. What she said.
Percy, just a second.
Boarding school. I went to a boys' boarding school.
But Percy,
we never practiced gayism. I was in a boarding school for boys, younger boys. I got offended when she said boarding school. I got offended on that. I'm sorry, but I had to just clarify that.
Gladys, you said
But Jerome, shirefo mulea, ndefa tuikaleko kunse ya
Gladys, sorry about that. These men, I'm failing to handle them.
I'm telling you, tell me about it.
Yeah, so you were saying subconsciously, they start practicing homosexuality subconsciously. Explain a little bit, please.
Yes, please. In the sense that, for example, the people are not all of them, I'm just generalizing. Those people you find that they are in the boarding school of girls. Within the girls, they have categorized themselves as ababakash, ababalume. And then they'll be doing like kissing and stuff like that in the name of playing. But in the other sense, they're actually practicing homosexuality.
I see. But Percy, this is where I wanted her to finish so that number muingilemo. Next time, Nkesa na ruler.
No, I feel like I was at a boys' school. I was at Wangwa Boys. Nothing happened of that sort.
Okay.
Unless if you said that, etc., etc.
Okay,
yes,
okay. All right.
I agree.
Okay. Thank you so much. Baka Sonso, now beautifully wrap it up, please. I wanted you to the end.
I also need to say something, Valinda. I haven't said anything.
Okay, London, Baka Sonso, before the close. But Patrick London.
Yeah, I think if I try under Valinda, I did my own research. If I try under Valinda, kuba kashara kuma boarding schools na liumfa kwe thing sana if I. But Gladys, it's true. But kuba ume tafia sekere because I had friends, brothers who were in boarding schools. Tafia se, but with girls, a lot of girls confessed to me.
Oh, really?
that it was happening. But it's not just ama lesbians it's it's by choice. The circumstances they found themselves in there. But in so which means they were not natural lesbians.
Okay.
Then by gay. Bengi sana ku Zambia.
Yeah.
You know, I lived in Kitwe. Ngamoya paka Tondo Street. Paka Tondo Street in Kitwe. Pali ba gay abengi bambalika na nkana hotel. Elo nomba ba ama magenga ba isoku makufyalo fimbi bale ipusha. I was asked by some South Africans when I was living in Cape Town. I came with an entourage of South Africans kushita business ku Kitwe. The Copper Belt. I was asked to you balishi yaba ku South Africa. Kunjipusha ine. I was shocked because some of them I thought they were straight. They were for Okubamona because somebody in Cape Town who's been here that Ngamafika ku Kitwe bali baba ge pakatondo. I was shocked.
Interesting.
And some of them when they mentioned their names, I was so shocked. So it's there, but the Zambian law does not allow gay or lesbian.
Okay. No.
It's very clear. You go. But it's there.
I need to correct something here. We must correct something here. Actually, the provision in the criminal code, but John's first land then go because but Kelvin Chandagafumbi wants to send 1,000 stars after you answer.
Often natural folk land up okay,
quickly here. Okay,
let me just say this. Bakasonso, why I wanted to leave you to the end, because I have been having conversations na Bakafwimbi at Vala Pela Masters so that you round the whole conversation.
Bakafwimbi no bakanona isula before shira isala kana mupere 1,000 ubike kunemba sela. Nomba umfweni. Kuno ku America for chali. If you have a gay na ba lesbian. Here at civil unions. Even Nabena Bill Clinton Valley meaning 20 years ago, whatever, 30 years ago. Valley support civil unions. No mbevo chaba kunoko America. Ubuteko. Okay, like we are saying, if you have mpanga yonse, ero fiaka lera sana na Bible emo vali. In fact, nga first passage winga basangapo. Waza sanga ko bati no na malaika alisa bapero upofu kwe bati bemona bamona ba malaika kapanuma because bale folks wapuna kapanuma kwe ba malaika bali abashupa sana bakala bana bali mbible nomba kuno evo chali massive unions bali fairly allowed within the confines of privacy ya muntu amufuna mwa time yakumbuyo finenga fya bana kachindyo fini but icha ishire imya lulu kuno ku America bali bulenda lama babika ma families mubana na mufyupo so ere bambiri okuluisha bebere yawe na ifo shenda lama tufure tuwakwatako ere bayimishe lulu ya marriage equality. The issue there, the fight, was not a moral issue. The moral issue had been decided from many years ago, and under the law then baba pelama rights na family equality. So that's what it's accessible lama issue but appropriate by Congress. Na ifo kuzambe twali kwata ba yakumbuyo na bambi na bamshishe fe mungabeta bana mayo.
Okay.
Nomba ifo tatukwete issue ya ndala mu buteko kubika ma families mu mashani. So if you go to tuvutukile ifo twambe kusa compete ne chalo kuno efo bali abantu balelwile efo balwisha kuno nindalama balwisha the money to be for them to have a cake of that part of that money that is for families and marriages and all those kind of things. Mali ndalama kuno ku states ngina kwataba na kuno ku America kula ni good milile know kula bafimi fa kwate tuche struggle na fyo so efo yaba kuno nomba ifo kuzambia vyo issue tatwa kwateyo pama kitchen tables tuchapo discuss it. If you ile bashita sila baishe kuno
baisa mufo ne platform kashinga bali kolero nga chalishani palapene bayima yo indala meshi bale fokola tupera bale foku tutako atachi na shano konga shanga mle fokola tutako kapanuma kanshi kutumwa kwata fendala mashani kwate no buchushwe nomba iwe bayakumbuye bale kitamasambi kulingana tontonkanyele but na iwo leiba ushokuiba na ndo anika temasambi finanso pibili. So he lacked wisdom on how to navigate that issue. As long as there is no grassroots movement, they are fighting for those rights. They are moving Zambia. Stay away from that issue.
Thank you.
Ini issue we have to turn it up mwapanga ka position hiyo ifo tuliwe na Kristo tuwasha no wina Kristo tabo aba in a natural mu fyaliro yesa tufyalo nabo tufana bo born again ero wakwato wina Kristo. So
thank you so much.
Iyo issue yo tufume po tuilalanda poka mwanga mwalabo mfe issue mwakula itanisha fenda na nokula ile tele. So if bale for upumbu bwabashitasira ebo bwingira muri kateka wesu ifona ifutukane ngaeko bali uko abene bage bale for kutsani bemi nyoko kwina kuzambi bambe kulisha ma rights yabo ero baye poka naenda na papa families ngato alikwatete ishonga takulivyo ifunye niko na pa media tuilalanda pono kulanda po because bali shupa bali abantu bali targeting walanda po pa issues yabo.
We just need to create to dispel this impression, and I just need to clarify it. Zambian law does not criminalize gayism or lesbianism. That is not what it does. There is the penal code, the Zambian penal code does not say that a person can be imprisoned for being gay or being lesbian. That is not Zambian law. Anyone who tells you that Zambian law says that gays and lesbians are supposed to be locked up, that's not true. What Zambian law forbids is what is known as against the order of nature, sex against the order of nature. That's all it says. Sex against the order of nature involves both what we call sodomy, and it also involves regular sex between a man and a woman. It's also against the order of nature, which means anal penetration, even if it's between a man and a woman, attracts 8 years for a woman who allows a man to penetrate her anus. That's what the law says. Which means then, if you are using that particular passage to say that it then criminalizes sodomy or homosexuals, then you must equally say that it criminalizes anal penetration of a woman by a man. So we need to remove this impression that that provision of the penal code therefore has outlawed homosexuality. Because if it has outlawed homosexuality, it means then that it has also outlawed heterosexual unions that are regarded as against the order of nature, which includes anal penetration and oral sex. Now, the reason if you oral sex is against the order of nature because case law says that Ndeke.
Bamunsha, whilst you're wrapping that up,
continue, but guys, let's keep quiet. We are still on the air.
Yeah. Whilst you're wrapping that up, Bamunsha, could you just also categorically say what the position of the UPND is, because our viewers are getting really in a bit of a pickle. So if we could just say...
No, the UPND party. Now, we need to be very clear. All Zambian parties, and including the UPND party, they're not going to introduce what we understand as gay rights.
Yeah.
There's no one who is going to do that. There's no party that is going to do that. It's a very politically volatile situation. All I am saying is that there's been a huge misunderstanding of what that provision in the penal code actually says. And some people go to the penal code and even lie that Zambian law says that gays or lesbians are illegal in Zambia. That is not true. Sex against the order of nature is illegal in Zambia, which means oral sex is illegal in Zambia. And all of you, ngamwaliesha for oral sex, you are in for 8 years in jail. Kanshi
pano papane pano palia ma criminals abakova kuti vaikatwanga chakwa tivadi sokolwela. So keep private things private.
The point I was putting across, I was saying what people do behind closed doors.
So now, please, let's just be very clear about it. iliaine provision yakanya sodomy is the same provision yakanya oral sex. Eicho kanshi baneimwe bonse you are potential criminals ilio leso ntama homosexuals atibakengira no bewine ilio wabo mfeshakanwa
Okay, Ngila. It's true.
According to Zambian law. Okay, so I just needed to clarify that.
I think that's important.
Zambia, we should not be targeting people. There is nothing illegal about that.
No.
Nangumuntu wakwata orientation. There is nothing illegal about that.
The stereotype is too much.
Sodomy and it's sex against the order of nature, which some of you heterosexual couples have already done. And so you are all criminals. And if homosexuals deserve jail, you deserve it. Echoka nekanshi mutampe koku ilondolola. Bantu tulesa mukumikata. Against the penal code.
I think vamusha tufieto atapita pali va Jero mungato yako background.
Okay. Right. Would you like to close?
This has been a very unusual presentation of TV Bakwetu. Thank you so much for supporting us, sending us stars, and sharing our feed all over. We really appreciate your support. But whenever ne tureke obufi, tureke no kubika mu vintu vishitimo.
Kusankanye.
Misunderstand. We are one country, we are a Christian nation, and we will continue being a Christian nation. Anyway, thank you very much, panel. Thank you very much, Linda and Jerome, and the entire TV Bakwetu crew. Thank you. Good night, and God bless you.